Before I get into the video, currently about 97% of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed. So if you enjoy the content, I'd really appreciate it. We've been growing a lot, and even just 1% of you would make an insane difference. Either way, let's get right into it. Starting off with number 10, Shujinko is actually what is known as a composite character. He has no moves of his own. All of his special techniques or special moves are copied from other characters, specifically the ones he trains under in the Conquest Mode of Mortal Kombat Deception. Like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, he has his spear, he has his ice ball, all those sort of things. Although the inputs are not identical to the original users of those moves. It is interesting that Shujinko, which is a pretty liked and very important character in the original story, even though his moves aren't his own. Either way, let's move on. On to number 9, where we look at Mortal Kombat Deception, where it's very likely that young Shujinko was going to be playable, most likely as an alternate costume. For those who don't know, during the Conquest Mode, you play as young Shujinko, who later in the story is older, and is actually the playable version of him, the oldest one. We know that young Shujinko could have been implemented more, because it's said in the MK Wiki, young Shujinko is the most functional of all unplayable characters. You can even use all unlockable special moves while playing as him. All of his in-game battle voice clips are complete. Fatalities and death traps can be performed on him without any kinds of glitches. Also, interestingly, Shujinko will even say, "Get over here," in his young voice while doing his spear move. All these things are pretty solid evidence in my opinion. On a more comedic note, number 8 involves a moment where Shujinko is heading to a cave to collect the first Kamidogu. Before being told what the password is to enter, he will go on to guess passwords such as Toasty, everyone knows that, Frosty, again, Password, Goski, or Linkway. If he's asked what the password is after all that, he will comedically say, "I have no idea." I sadly couldn't find a clip of this, however, but it is stated in the MK Wiki, and I imagine it's there. Number 7 is a bit of a quick one, but it's the meaning of the name Shujinko. Many of Mortal Kombat's characters are named with another meaning behind that name, such as Shujinko, meaning protagonist in Japanese, which if you know the character and his story importance, it makes perfect sense. I'm curious, because I didn't know this, but did you all know that Shujinko's secondary costume in Deception and Armageddon is that of one of the antagonists of the classic Kung Fu movie, the one-armed boxer versus the flying guillotine? That was made in 1975. You can see by this poster the top right character, the antagonist of the movie, shown very similarly to, on the left, Shujinko's alternate costume. Mortal Kombat has always been tied into fighting and especially Kung Fu movies, and that tie-in comes in at number 6. Number 5 is a little different, as it consists of a weird bug in Deception's Conquest Mode, where if a subquest is not completed, but revisited after Shujinko has progressed to an older form, Shujinko will use a voice belonging to a form other than what he is currently, such as using a teenage voice as a boy, or his seasoned warrior voice as an old man. Not much to that, but interesting and kind of funny nonetheless. Number 4, we have a bit of an irony, as although Shujinko is the playable character in Conquest Mode, in Mortal Kombat Deception, due to his copy nature, the player will rarely use Shujinko himself during battles, as he will actually morph into another character at the start of the fight. Again, I think it's very strange that the fact that he's such an important character, and he doesn't really have any of his own defining qualities, besides, I guess, look and voice. But either way, I love Shujinko. Another interesting appearance for our number 3 spot is that you can find Shujinko in Mortal Kombat Armageddon's Conquest Mode, where he's trapped in a cell under Shao Kahn's fortress. And after Taven frees Shujinko, this interaction happens. I think this is interesting because he's one of the few characters met by Taven that he doesn't fight. And it's also kind of funny. Here, just look.
I thank you, stranger. I am Shujinko.
I am Taven. You plan to defeat Shao Kahn? Whole realms have tried to overthrow him.
Not only will I defeat him, but a host of his allies. They are in his chamber now, plotting some coming battle. I allowed myself to be captured. From this dungeon, I can enter Shao Kahn's soul chamber. Once there, I will be able to destroy Shao Kahn and all his allies in one stroke. I suggest you leave quickly, Taven, for I cannot guarantee your safety.
My safety? I just defeated this entire... foolish old man.
Probably the most modern example on this list comes in at number 2, where an elderly Shujinko makes a small cameo appearance in Cassie Cage's ladder ending for MKX, where she beats him to death under the mistaken assumption he is Shang Tsung, as shown here.
Cassie Cage's impressive victory over Shinnok led Raiden to give her a new important task: hunting down a soul stealer. Cassie did not have to be told that the suspect could be a resurrected Shang Tsung. Having tracked him from the site of his last known assault, Cassie confronted the withered old man. He fought desperately but was ultimately defeated. As the old man lay dying before her, Cassie asked his name. With a mixture of sadness and relief, he whispered, "Shujinko."
Now finally, on to our final spot. I did save the most interesting for last, at least in my opinion. This has to do with the Linkway. For those of you who don't know, the Deception's Conquest Mode, Shujinko joins the Linkway when he's young, and completes a few missions for them, with the real goal for him is to gain the fighting knowledge of Sub-Zero's ancestor. And it is implied that he was never affiliated with the group in ideology, and interestingly enough, just the process of being affiliated with them was enough to leave a taint upon his soul, that would later permit him access to the Netherrealm, which is a place where only sinful souls may enter. According to John Vogel, the Sub-Zero who taught the freezing abilities to Shujinko in his youth, as said before, was not Bi-Han or Kuai Liang, but their ancestor, who could even be their grandfather, as what happened decades ago. Hey, I just want to take a second here to thank you all for watching this video. Also, I wanted to mention another little fun fact about Shujinko that I find kind of interesting. During his Armageddon Tower ending, which is very interesting because of the fact that in his ending, he actually becomes enthralled in power so much that he turns on everyone and essentially becomes a power-hungry, like, god of sorts, and ends up challenging the Elder Gods. I think it's a very interesting ending for him because that just seems really out of character. I feel like a lot of Armageddon endings are out of character, but that might just be attributed to the fact that they gain, like, limitless power and stuff. But either way, I just wanted to mention that one real quick. I'll show you guys the Armageddon ending, and that should be the end of it. And yeah, just watch to the very end of the video. There's something there at the end I want to announce.
The power of Blaze drew chi from each of the combatants and fused it with Shujinko's soul. Though the battle was over, a new threat arose. One warrior now possessed the powers and abilities of them all. Shujinko went mad with power. After slaying all present, he embarked on a new quest. He would challenge the Elder Gods for control of the realms.
Well, I know this has been a relatively short video, but I do hope you all did enjoy. And a big thank you for those who watched all the way through. I do have a reminder for those who made it all the way here, though. I would like to remind everyone I did enable channel members. So if you would like to support the channel, go on down there and you can get extra perks, different exclusive videos, emotes, a bunch of different stuff. It's all listed there. If not, then I hope you did enjoy and check out my other content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, and be good people.